For about 8 years, the smart speaker on your counter has basically been a kitchen timer that occasionally plays music. That just ended. In the span of few weeks, Google, Amazon, and Apple all tore their voice assistants down to the studs and rebuilt them. New hardware, new brains, the works, the voice wars are back. And everybody is going to do the same thing: compare the speakers, compare the prices, argue about sound quality. That's the wrong lens, because two things are happening that no spec sheet will tell you. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the one company that has already won this war. It's not the one you'd guess, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Real quick, if you like AI breakdowns like this, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps me keep making them. Cool, let's go. Here's the fight: three contenders, all relaunched basically at once. In the first corner, Google with a brand new Google Home speaker, its first audio device built from scratch for Gemini. In the second, Amazon, which rebuilt Alexa completely into something it calls Alexa Plus. And in the third, Apple with the new Siri that as of this month is running on a completely different brain than it used to. Three giants, three relaunches, same few weeks. Let's go one at a time because each one has a detail that matters way more than the price. Google's lands June 25th, $100. It runs Gemini for home, so instead of barking on rigid command at a time, you can actually have a back and forth with it. Turn off the lights, accept the kitchen, and remind me in 1 hour. Here's the spec that actually matters. A chunk of the AI runs on the device itself on a dedicated chip, so it answers under a tenth of a second. And quietly, Google is killing off the old Nest Mini and Nest Audio. This isn't an upgrade, it's a replacement of the entire line. Amazon's Alexa Plus is the most rebuilt of the three. Under the hood, it's not one model, it's a router that picks between Amazon's own Nova and Anthropic's Claude depending on the task. It's $20 a month, but free if you have Prime, which is most of the people listening to this. But here's the part that should make you sit up. Alexa Plus is agentic. There's a feature called Buy for Me where Alexa will go to a third party store's website by itself and complete the purchase for you. Let that land. Your speaker can now spend your money, navigate a checkout, enter the details, place the order without you ever touching a screen, which is either the most convenient thing ever on slightly terrifying depending on how much you trust it. Hold that thought because it's the whole story. Then there's Apple. For years, Siri was the punchline, not anymore. The new Siri can read what's on your screen, write your emails, and do things across your apps, even signing you into websites and updating your passwords for you. It's genuinely good now. But why is it suddenly good? Here's the detail Apple would rather you glossed over. The new Siri isn't running on Apple's AI, it's running on Google's Gemini, a reported billion a year dollar deal piped through Apple's privacy layers so Google can't see your data. Apple didn't build a smarter brain, it rented one. Remember that it's the thread that unravels this whole war. So step back. For 8 years, these things were assistants. You ask, they answer. A timer, a weather report, a song. What just changed across all three at once is that they became agents. The difference is one word: action. An assistant that tells you the answer, an agent goes and does the things, buys the product, books the table, signs into the account, runs the five-step task while you walk away. And that completely changes what you're putting in your house. A speaker that answers questions is harmless. A speaker that can spend your money and log into your accounts on its own is a different category of the thing entirely. And the convenience is real for sure, but so is the question nobody's asking on launch day: how much do you actually trust an agent that lives on your counter, listening with your wallet and passwords? So before you pick one, there's a much bigger question: who's actually behind it? Here's the thing, I promise you, forget the logos on the boxes, look at the brain inside each one. Google Speaker runs Gemini, obviously. Amazon's Alexa Plus runs its own Nova Plus Claude. It's the one that went its own way. But Apple's brand new Siri also Gemini, which is Google's brain. So count it, of the three biggest voice assistants on earth, two of them run on Google. Whichever box you buy, a Google speaker or anything in the Apple world, you are quietly putting Google's agent in your home. The only way to not pick Google is to specifically pick Amazon. That's not a coincidence, and it's not a fight anymore. Google didn't win by making the best speaker, it won by making the best brain inside everyone else. So here's how to actually choose. Now that you know what you are choosing, don't pick the sound quality or buy $10 of fries. Pick on two things. One, whose ecosystem do you already live in? Your phone, your photos, your calendar, because that's where the agent gets useful. And two, the bigger one, who do you actually trust to put an agent in your home? One that can buy things and sign in as you. For some people, that's Apple's privacy wall. For others, it's Amazon staying off Google. For most people, it'll quietly be Google because it's already everywhere. Because that's the real story here. Everyone's about to compare three speakers, but the war was never really between the speakers. It was about whose agent ends up on your counter listening with your wallet, and Google already won that before most people noticed it started. So tell me down in the comments and be honest, would you let a voice agent buy things and sign into your accounts on its own? Yes or no? I'm reading every reply for the next 24 hours. Subscribe, and I'll keep breaking these down by the day they happen. See you in the next one.